So if you're a good girl in this relationship and it's always you who is completely immersed in this relationship, and it's always you who is completely loyal to this relationship, and you don't consider, you don't have any side option as well, you are completely loyal to this relationship and you have only this guy who is, with whom you are dating, and it's always you who listens to this guy all the time, all the means, and you do, and if you are the girl who do everything that has been told by this person in the relationship, then you are a good girl, so you must hear this. So if you are not a good girl, I mean, if you have some other options also, you can just skip this, because this, I don't think, will serve you anymore. So if you are staying here and if you are a good girl and you're having, it's only you who is completely loyal, and it's, you're just considering, you're that ideal good girlfriend who is in a relationship. So if you're that kind of girl, this video is 100% for you. And if you're kind of, searching for any sign from the god or from the universe, I think this video can also serve you that purpose. So let me not just waste the time and let me get into the thing directly. See, if you are a good girl, you will always pay the price. It doesn't matter whether it's your relationship or it's a career or anywhere you consider. If you are a good girl, if you are a naive girl, if you're a nice person, people will try to exploit that, and they don't even think twice, in exploiting you, and they don't even feel guilty about doing such things. They don't even care. you know that is really, hard to understand, or it's really hard to even digest for someone like me or someone like you who is, who is very kind in nature. So I will directly, tell like how things can go wrong. So if you're naive, obviously people will try to exploit you, but this happens more in relationship, because it can happen in career too, but I would say in career and other places there will be a kind of limitation or boundary that is set. So even in worst, they can just make you cry and nothing else can happen in other areas. But when it comes to relationship, it can go to a mile that where you are completely filled with traumas and left with traumas, guilt, regret all the life, and it just doesn't feel good, especially if you are a good girl and who want to, have this, you just want to love one person and just marry him to the life, and he's the only person whom with whom you want to stay forever. So if you're that kind of good girl, then you must listen to this. So if you're a good girl, so these are the ways how you can be exploited in a relationship. So first, listen carefully. So first thing is, when a person says, tries to open up and tries to talk about the addictions, be careful, because what happens is, this person is indirectly telling you to, sometimes he will directly tell you to help him, in overcoming certain addictions. But the thing is, those are the kind of addictions, if you really want to help them, then you will literally cross the boundaries, you know and if you are a good girl, if you just want to marry one single boy for and stay with him for whole life and have, have that family with only one person, this kind of thing can actually, make your life hell, give you so much trauma and so much regret, guilt, so much that you will literally be crying all the time, and you can also find yourself in depression, because you are a good girl. So you have this ideal life in your mind that you want to be dating one person and love that person and marry him and have life with him for the rest of your life. But believe me, things just doesn't go like that. Just for that moment, in order to help the other person and to help with his addiction, you try to go and help him, but at end that person, without even informing or without giving any prior reason, will leave you, and will leave you with those traumas which can actually ruin your life, ruin your mental life and emotional life completely, and also it might hurt you physically as well, because this is really something which needs to be addressed. Honestly, I think this is really something very serious that is going on, because just consider, if you are a bad girl, you just don't care, okay, and you also believe in this, this Gen Z culture and all. Gen Z's, relationship culture, then you don't give much, what do you say, you don't give that much importance to these kind of things. But believe me, for a good girl and just want to have one life with one person whom you love and just want to marry that and have a family with only that person, then these kind of things can actually ruin your life completely. So just because someone is saying that they love you and they have some addiction and you want to help them, please just don't agree to such things, because that might just make you end up, with complete trauma and completely ruin your life as well. So because that doesn't happen in a, in a in a way where you can actually catch the person, because it happens eventually, and it happens in a way where it doesn't actually feel like it's a wrong thing at that time. But when that person leaves your life and you think of whole thing, you will understand that it is a trauma, and it's a lifetime trauma, and how you can actually recover from that, because it's really hard to recover from traumas. So it's better not to make them first in first place only. And just because this entire thing is happening in the name of love, you must be very careful, because nowadays anything can happen in just in the name of love. So nowadays I don't think love is love anymore. It is a loss. It is something which is, just in the name of love they can just do anything, everything, and there is no extreme to that. There is literally no any end to that. So in the name of love they can do literally anything. They can ask you to do anything just because you love them. And they can, if you try to just, if you don't listen to them, then they can trick you in a way where they might say you don't love them, and that's not true actually. So just be careful with these kind of people, because I genuinely don't want, like, I don't want you to, have that lifetime trauma just because you are a good girl and people exploited you. So if you're a good girl, be aware of this thing, and yes, be very careful, especially if you are in a relationship and or if you want to get into any kind of relationship. So this is your sister's advice. I won't say advice. I would say this is what the experiences of the people around my life, and also their friends and their friends. So these are the lessons that we, learned from the real life experiences. This is not something that was written in some random book or random content. So just, like, just give this lessons some importance, and save yourself from people exploiting you, especially if you are a nice girl, especially in a relationship.